When I first met Dr. Tomatis in Paris, it was 1978, and I knew immediately that he was a unique man, and like Dr. Jung, a seeker. Joining our bodies and minds through the sound therapy of Dr. Tomatis and the psychology of Dr. Carl Gustav Jung makes a precious contribution to our healing and growth. While I was in Paris, I discovered that Dr. Tomatis had developed a unique sound treatment program. It was designed to enhance our capacity for living and to overcome problems that are listening related, as most psychological problems are to some extent. After this brief introduction, I will share with you a 3-minute video that shows the psychological impact of this therapy. This video will explain the Tomatis effect system, the muscle of the middle ear, and the vestibular system. After I experienced a number of these programs and completed the training to use them, I have integrated them with my practice as a Jungian analyst. I have found that they are extremely helpful in dealing with our emotional problems such as depression, anxiety, and stress, and they are also an important help in getting in touch with our unique voice, our inner strength, our deep emotions, and the creativity that we have buried. As an analyst, I have often found that bringing the dimension of listening into our work help us move our complexes to where they may be more easily integrated and transformed, thereby reducing our stress level and releasing new energy into our lives. One key to this process that we need to remember is that hearing is a passive process, while listening is an active one. And this means that we need listening skill to cut through the noise of our busy lives and reconnect with the vital parts of ourselves. I am convinced that far too many of us reach a plateau of ineffectiveness in how we listen to ourselves, in how we listen to the world, and we get stuck on that plateau. And this specifically filtered music program stimulate our brain, our nervous system, in a way that help us regain our whole potential. And I hope that you will find the following video helpful. Please feel free to read the additional article on the homepage of our website. It's called The Sounds of Individuation, Joining Body and Psyche. You may also find a link to my dynamic listening website on this page. And if you have any thoughts or questions, please feel free to phone or email me. Thank you very much.
The Tomatis method is a pedagogical method used to improve the listening of a person whose hearing functions correctly. It works thanks to a device that causes musical contrasts by suddenly and unpredictably changing the timbre and intensity of the music. This effect will surprise the brain and trigger its attentional mechanisms. We say that the brain puts itself in the listening position. Sound is transmitted through air via the ear canal. It is also transmitted by vibration at the top of the headset. This vibration is called bone conduction. Bone conduction transmits the sound directly to the inner ear, thus preparing it to receive the sound transmitted through the eardrum. The switch to channel 2 causes the muscles of the ear to tense. Conversely, the switch back to channel 1 lets these muscles relax. Thus, the muscles of the ear are subjected to a gymnastic exercise. In this way, the stirrup muscle tenses and relaxes thanks to the Tomatis effect, improving the regulation of the inner ear and playing a role of preparation. More generally, it is the entire auditory system that is stimulated by the sudden change of timbre and intensity. The vestibule and the cochlea have a fundamental role of providing energy to the brain. In the cochlea, high-frequency sounds stimulate the brain much more than low-frequency sounds. Channel 2 will strongly activate the lower part of the cochlear duct and thus favor the reception of high frequencies and their transmission to the brain. This transmission takes place through the transformation of the acoustic vibration that is perceived into electrical stimulation. The electrical message is transmitted to the auditory cortex and the peripheral cortical areas that are directly connected to the prefrontal cortex. The latter integrates and analyzes the information received. In return, this integrated information is directed back to the ear, favoring not only the perception of the acoustic information and the ability to focus on it, but also the improvement of motor programs concerning fine and gross motor functions. Thus, through this back and forth between the brain and the receptors in the inner ear, we can see that in reality, the ear is a sensory motor organ that plays a decisive role in our personal development. That is why the Tomatis method acts in a natural and non-intrusive manner on the auditory system and the brain. This leads to improvements in learning, attention, communication, reading, listening, sensory processing.